Welcome to the Starting Over Podcast. I'm your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos, and this is the show where we look at the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. This is part 2 of me looking at the Deadpool set, and in this part, we are definitely going to be looking at the super rares, the chases, and also my thoughts on the set. So let's get crack-a-lackin'. Whew. There we go. Pretty much, Deadpool and Bob only comes up for one reason. If you have Bob, then... And again, Bob only came in as prize support. If you do have Bob from from Web of Spider-Man, just get this so you can split into Deadpool and Bob. So that's the only reason. It has a bunch of cool stuff because you're able to use the Merc with the mouth. So you're able to add in the hammer time word bubble, which is awesome. Then you have hiding as my superpower. Deadpool and Bob can use stealth. If they're adjacent to a friendly character of 50 points or more, Deadpool and Bob can use shape change, which is sort of silly. Ridiculous regeneration is their defensive power. Is whenever Deadpool and Bob would be dealt damage from an attack, roll a d6 on a 1. They take that much damage plus 1 on a result 2 through 3. They take damage normal amount on a result of 4 through 5. They take 1 damage on a 6. They heal 1 damage. This power can't be countered or ignored, which is pretty cool. Then you have you're like my good luck charm, but I decided not to just bring your food. What? Deadpool and Bob can use probability control, but only to target themselves or an adjacent opposing character. They can use it twice each turn, which is sort of cool. So it gives you super insurance, and you have that power for a good chunk of your dial. So definitely fun in a Highfather meta. I don't know. In a copycat meta, you're fine, but in a Highfather meta, not so much. Ugh. Gosh. This is a side note, and I didn't really want to go to this point. Between getting slapped in the face with Highfather or kicked in the nuts from Copycat, you're almost forced to run in 300 points a duo, like 2 figures. One at 110 and another at 190 or somewhere around there. So at least you're not freaking kicked in the nuts by freaking Copycat. But Highfather will, like, nerf one of them, and then even then you might want to play a duo or something, but it's pissing me off really bad. Anyway, going on, talking about duos, Wolverine and X23, pretty decent for 168 points. They're a bit expensive, but you have some cool options in here. First off, they ignore hindering for movement. Next off, their keywords are pretty boss, which allows them to access like perma stealth if they wanted to. But actually, never mind. You don't need it because you already have it. Sneak and kill Wolverine, and it says X-Men, but it should be X23. Somebody made a typo. Can use sidestep and stealth. Unhindered lines of fire drawn to Wolverine and X23 during an opponent's turn are blocked unless Wolverine and X23 have 2 action tokens or are adjacent to an opposing character not on its starting click. So that's pretty cool, but a lot of stipulations. Slice and dice, that's from Marvel vs. Capcom. Anyway, Wolverine X23 can use Blaze Claw's Fangs and Flurry, which is nice. So you can charge Blaze Claw's Fangs or charge Flurry. When using Blaze Claw's Fangs, their minimum D6 result is 3. So that's nice. If they hit a character twice during a turn, they may use Incapacitate as a free action, targeting that character. So you can go... in Golden Age, if you're able to use Stunning Blow, you could technically get a 3rd attack off, which would make them freaking ridiculous. But to say you landed Blaze Claw's Fangs twice and then landed Incap, it's pretty good. Also, if you're running them, you definitely want to run like the Book of the Skull. Because if you hit all those times, then it's really good for you. Double healing factor. Give Wolverine and X23 a free action to roll a d6 on a result of 2 through 5. Heal Wolverine and X23 of 1 damage. On a result of 6, heal Wolverine and X23 of 2 damage. Now, note, you do have this with regen. So you can power action regen and then use this. So, like, really think about that. I'm going to say this, and I know some people might get frustrated with me saying this. If you use the Adamantium Scientist, lose your first click, and have Imperv, they're freaking really tough to kill. Like, ridiculous. Like, you're always perma top click. Like, just always. There's almost literally no way, unless they have Psychic Blast, for them to kill you. Because you just be like, yeah, I heal. Yeah, I heal. Yeah, I heal. Like, the amount of damage that you would have to dump into Wolverine and X23 is way more than people may want to admit. Next up is Banshee. And if you don't know what Banshee does and why he's broken already, then go dig around in the preview and you'll hear a lot of comments about him. Really, it's his trait. It's going to get a little loud. Opposing characters within 6 squares can't use super senses. Opposing characters within 6 squares can't use impervious, invincible, or invulnerability, but can use toughness instead. When Banshee hits a character that can't use a power due to this trait, increased damage dealt to that character by 1. Here's what they're pretty much saying. Hey, guess what? Did you not have toughness? Okay, sorry, do you have toughness? You're fine. You're not going to get hosed. Do you have any awesome damage reduction? Oh, you do? You might as well not have that toughness that I gave you. Okay? You just might as well not. Oh yeah. To an extent, I have a full range pulse wave, just about. Okay, so that's pretty much what he has. Yes, shape change is there. I know. But technically with his trait, he has a full range pulse wave with no negative repercussions whatsoever. He's not unique either. Like, this is one character I would say, yeah, if you were a super rare prime, I would hate having to throw out the $50 to buy you. But you would be in the right slot. Sonic Scream doesn't even matter because you're never really going to use Pulse Wave. I mean, you're never going to use a double action Pulse Wave. So you can destroy walls. Okay, yeah, they're hiding behind barrier, whatever. Okay, cool. That's going to be a once in a blue moon type of thing. Okay, moving on down. Cable sucks. Speed Demon. Speed Demon is the one that a lot of people are talking about. Him and Speed Demon and Wizard. They both are really good for different reasons. Okay, so first off, Speed Demon has Heroes for Hire and Squadron Supreme and Sinister Syndicate and Thunderbolts. So I don't see why you would have Squadron Supreme. I don't. Anyway, someone please in comments below tell me why Speed Demon has Squadron Supreme. I know why Wizard has Squadron Supreme, but what happened? Like, did he come over from the other dimension or something and just decide to be a bad guy or what? I don't know. Anyway, Speed Cyclone Uplift. When Speed Demon moves after actions resolve, choose an opposing character and roll a d6. If the result is less than the number of distinct squares that Speed Demon moved into or through that are adjacent to that character during the move, you may place that character within line of fire of its square and up to the result away in squares and deal that character half of the result in damage. It's really complicated. Let's just make some things simple. The most damage that you can deal is 3. Okay. To be able to do an attack and possibly give an opponent another 3 damage for 110 points is really good. Add in, hey, Phoenix Force, I fly. So the amount of things that limit you is a lot less. But anyway, well, I take that back because he has improved movement, ignores hindering in character, so never mind. Well, no, that's still useful because you can get up elevation. Yeah, you can get up elevation with flight. So there is some advantage with the Phoenix Force. Then you have a twofer. Speed Demon can use hypersonic speed. When he does during his move, he may be given a free action to make a second close combat attack. Now, this is really important, people. Technically, on click 3, Speed Demon can do 3 attacks. Hit once with the first attack, because he's using hypersonic speed. Then hit with the second attack with the twofer, okay? Then proc his speed cyclone. And then throw it at, whoever was hit before. That's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. And I'm not even saying like, ooh, look, hammers, ooh, look this. Like, Null's hammer becomes ridiculous on him. A utility belt becomes ridiculous on him. Because if at any point in time you get plus any stat, +1 or +2, that's ridiculous. So anyway, Wellspring of Power. Speed Demon can use Perplex. He can modify a combat value other than damage by +2 when targeting himself or a character that shares a keyword with him. Yeah, that's wow. That's really strong. And he has a lot of keywords. And so the other thing I want you to sort of think about as well is, hey, if I have Heroes for Hire and I'm on a Heroes for Hire team, that additional attack that I can do for free, freaking dumb. It's freaking dumb. It's dumb. It's so unbalanced that I just think they didn't even think about what he can do. Anyway, let's go down to Wizard. Phase through buildings. Pretty much Wizard ignores everything for movement, just about. Elevation, water, hindering terrain, water blocking terrain, characters. I guess he doesn't ignore hindering, that's sort of dumb. Yeah, that's real dumb. Anyway, you have the world at 500 miles per hour. Wizard can use hypersonic speed. When he does, during his move, he may be given a free action to make a second close combat attack. Which is okay. It's pretty much the same as a twofer. It's just pretty much the same as a twofer. But anyway, Friction Shield. They should have said twofer. They might as well. But anyway, Friction Shield. Wizard can use combat reflexes and super senses. Now, you have your defensive power sort of compressed in and the front loaded versus, Speed Demon who has his stuff back in, which is I'm like, okay, that's an upgrade. Then you have Body Blur. Wizard can use stealth if you use hypersonic speed during your last turn. That's sort of nice considering that you have Indom, but considering you don't have ignores hindering terrain, that's going to be a problem. Overall, I know there's some people going to be hunting down Wizard. Get yourself a Speed Demon, like for real. Get a Speed Demon. Don't joke. All right, next up is Arinm Zola. Arinm Zola, I think, will be one of those that you get for cheap, and then when you break him, everyone's going to be pissed. And here's why. You cloned who? Give Arinm Zola a free action to place a Gwen Stacy clone bystander token as described on the card adjacent to him on the map. If there is already one friendly character on the map, oh, sorry, I guess it's supposed to be one friendly bystander token. This is a power action instead. If there are two or more friendly ones on the map, I guess is a double power action instead. Now, you might be saying, like, why is that broken? Well, these little pogs have perplex and 6 movement and 6 attack and 13 damage. 13 defense, 0 damage. Now, let's take a step back and really think about this. I have a character that generates pogs for Mastermind, technically for free. I can give a character a power action where pretty much, like, just about all during the game, I have the super Mastermind fodder, plus they give me perplex. Wow, I can think of several characters that can abuse that. But let's continue. Clone Master Arinm Zola can use mind control. He can use it to target friendly characters if they share a name with another character on the map. Hit characters can't use mind control until after actions resolve. Well, oh my gosh, what if I have 2 Spider-Mans? What do? I guess Arinm Zola with his 3 targets can mind control them both. Oh, that seems quite interesting, doesn't it, sir? I do agree. It does sound quite interesting. Well, what happens in bigger games? Well, I don't know. What do you mean in bigger games? Well, in bigger games, I can, have 2 Lydia Malors, and they can be mind controlled by Arinm Zola, and I can have, 2 Supermans, and they can be mind controlled by Arinm Zola. I mean, pretty much as long as they share a name. But hold up, wait. Is it? What about Tony Stark and Silver Centurion and Iron Man? Well, until they clarify, they all share the same name. Yep, they didn't think about that because we still use real name as part of the identification of a character. I know this is going to be shenanigans. I know, but it can be argued for that. Also, what happens, because he's not unique, if Arinm Zola, you have 2 Arinm Zolas on your team. Okay, now I'm going to say this, and it's completely dumb, and it's not even doable at 300 points. Because you would need like a 50-point just monster to do this. But you can pretty much just create a circle of mind control. Like Arinm Zola Arinm Zola mind controls Mole-Man. I said Mole-Man. I'm sorry. Arinm Zola mind controls Arinm Zola to, generate like a Pog or Gwen Stacy Pog. But you can sort of see where this is going to go. This is going to go into a dark place real quickly. Okay. Then you have transfer consciousness, which is when this click is revealed due to damage taken from an opponent's attack, stop turning the dial. Arinm Zola can use regeneration. When he does, if he rolls a 5 or a 6, you may also place him in any square within 12 squares. Doesn't even say line of fire. This power can't be ignored. So yeah, can't pulse wave him to death. Oh, I'm back, homie. What's up? And the tough part is literally, if you do like the mind control a shenanigan and just have a crap ton of clones, just perplexing up stats, and be like, yeah, I got Mastermind. Yeah, you gotta kill all these clones. Yeah, that one guy over there is like 50 points with the amount of perplex that I've done to him is probably worth like 200 points. Yeah, that's not fun for you. I know, I know. Hope your life gets better, homie. Hope your life gets better. So yeah, and he's not a flyer, so he can be carried. So yeah, this is silly. This is silly. Anyway, next up is it's like Thorpool. I don't know how many points he is. Oh, I don't actually. Never mind. Uh, he's 215 points, but he has running shot, pulse wave, and invincibility and outwit. It's just mainly that you get the hammer time word bubble with him, and that it just makes him ridiculous. It's like a 13 attack and 5 damage with the running shot, pulse wave. So it's like stupid. It ain't got the ridiculous regeneration, which is all right, but it's ridiculous. Now, here's another figure that I am very careful of, like, even telling anyone about, because I want everyone just to ignore him, and then I can bust him out. But because I love you all in a very platonic and very studious sort of way, I gotta tell you about it. T-Ray. T-Ray is annoying, and he's annoying for several reasons. And he presents us with several mental problems to get around, because you can't really build to stop him. You can build some things that be very annoying for him, but you can't build to stop him. First, you have Imbued Blade as a trait. Characters that have taken damage from T-Ray's close combat attack can't be healed, and damage dealt to them can't be reduced below 1. Yes, so guess what? I hit you. No more impervious for you, homie. No more impervious rolls for you. You can try. Actually, no. You can still do that if you're going to deal a ton of damage, but you're guaranteed 1. So that right there is I wouldn't say a huge game changer, but it does make it very interesting. Definitely against certain figures in the Deadpool set. Next is Deadpool's arch nemesis. T-Ray can use phasing teleport. When he does, you may instead place him adjacent to any opposing character with Deadpool in its name. After this action resolves, T-Ray may be given a close combat action as a free action. Now, here's the thing. Your commas, the way that your commas are worded, you can sort of say T-Ray can use phasing teleport. When he does, you may instead place him up to blah, 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 blah after the action resolves. So it doesn't matter after as long as the phasing teleport initiates. After action resolved, T-Ray may be given a close combat action as a free action. Hello, Phantom Girl 2.0 with, just with different advantages. Gosh, Phantom Girl and T-Ray teaming up is going to be ridiculous. Now, the problem that's about to occur is this last power here is hieroglyphic scraps of paper. T-Ray can use super strength, so you don't have to worry about that power. So you can just run around and just pick up objects and smash people. Give T-Ray a free action and choose a standard attack power. T-Ray can use that power until your next turn. Now, T-Ray has a range of 7. So you can phase, pick up a heavy, and be like, yeah, you know what? My free action before I phase is I'm going to pick Precision Strike. Or I'm going to pick Blades. I like that. You know what? I'm going to just be a stationary attacker. I'm going to Pulse Wave. Or I'm going to Psychic Blast. Hey, Energy Explosion seems sort of cool right now. You sort of see where I'm going? He also has regeneration, which I find a little bit interesting. And I think he also has support, but I could be fully wrong on that. Let me check real quick. Nope, he has support. So, yeah. He has support, and that just makes... Oh, gosh. Come on, WizKids. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Really? Really? Anyway. Next up is Tiamat. And I'm just mentioning this because my friend Jake likes him. I think he's a little bit expensive for the set, but he has Transporter and Dolphin Transporter. 12 attack, starting off. Invincibility, Exploit Weakness, Charge, Super Strength. He's probably the one character, if you pull him in Sealed, he would be interesting to play. But Champion and Steed once per turn when an opposing character has taken damage from his attack, and I assume that's Tiamat, give Tiamat any action as a free action. Freaking kidding me. Any action as a free action. When you do after action resolve, remove an action token from Tiamat. He's pretty much a team base. He's a team base. I'm not gonna front. Like let's be 100% honest here. He's a team base, and then you have 45 points to put whatever the heck else you want on the team with him. That's it. That's it. So yeah, I mean, with that, he can possibly two-shot a lot of stuff. So yeah, hey Jake, you were right. I overlooked something very, very strong. So everyone thank Jake. And I forgot his handle on AC Realms. Just magically thank Jake. There you go. Next up is Kingpin, and I'm bringing this up because I had a great conversation with Jada Ray, and he was talking about him working with Phantom X on the Quarry. But pretty much everyone works for me trait. Kingpin can use Mastermind. He can use it normally or once per turn. He can use it to transfer damage to any friendly character regardless of point value and adjacency. So it's like, whatever. As long as you're friendly to me, you know, it's all good. Eyes everywhere. Kingpin can use Outwit. When he does, he can count range and draw a line of fire from any friendly character within 8 range. So yeah, just watch him work with Eva really well. Then is I only hire the very best hitmen. Kingpin can use enhancement if adjacent friendly characters can use at least one of precision strike, range combat expert, and the sharpshooter ability, or improve target, ignore hindering. It can use them all. So definitely, there's a bunch of characters that just got really powerful hanging out with Kingpin. Add in the assassin, Hydra, martial artist, politician, ruler in the hand. Keywords, mainly the hand keyword, allowing for the hand ATA. You are looking at a sick, setup. Very expensive for support, but there's a lot of teams that could really use him. Definitely the hand. So, all right, it's getting a little cold here. Forget gold. Side rant, minor politics, not major. Just mainly dealing with scientists and global warming. Here's a thing that people don't think about. Okay, if the Earth is getting warmer, okay, and we have elements and pockets of cold, and those elements are dissipating, it would cool down the average temperature over time. So if you have accelerated heat, it would release cold pockets, and then it would lower the heat temperature down for accelerated spike, for more heat to increase over time. But it would go like a wave. It wouldn't just be straight. It should go up and down. And I think what I'm experiencing right now, being at 40 degrees outside, and it's May, I think that's global warming. But I also think it's like global cooling, but mainly due to the warming, if that makes sense. So back to Superior Spider-Man. I just wanted a fancy way of pointing out that I'm cold right now. Superior Spider-Man, no team affiliation. Somehow he's an Avenger. That doesn't make sense. I think he was on like Mighty Avengers or something for like a day. Then he left. He has a range value of 4. That's not bad. But it's not great either. He has Charge, Super Strength, Super Senses, Indomitable, Outwit, 11 attack. And when you look at that up front and you start asking yourself, if I'm going to pay 160 points and I'm getting this, I'm better off with 2099 Spider-Man. I mean, that's your initial thought. Okay, so when you take it a step further, you look at a trait. A more ruthless Spider-Man. Damage dealt by superior Spider-Man can't be reduced below 1. So he pretty much is guaranteed to get 1 damage in, which is good. So he doesn't have to worry about impervious. Spider Bots is the second trait. Gives superior Spider-Man a free action and roll a d6. If the result is higher than the total number of friendly Spider Bots currently on the map and attached, you may place a Spider Bot on the map up to that many squares away. Give superior Spider-Man a power action to attach an adjacent friendly Spider Bot if less than 2 are attached. Now, what does this mean? This means something very particular. And it means, A, buy a whole bunch of Spider Bots. You might say, Dark Logos, why is that? Well, I'm glad you asked, my friend. It's the fact that you can just keep bringing in freaking Spider Bots. Oh, they got destroyed. I don't care. I'm bringing in more Spider Bots. There's no limitation on how many Spider Bots you can bring in. Why pay for them up front? Just keep bringing them in. Just keep bringing them in. Next up, he really benefits from Anger's Hammer. Just regen, period. Steal energy, period. Like, that's it. Then you get ridding myself of the weakling Parker. Gives superior Spider-Man a free action. Roll a d6 once per game. If the result is 3 through 6. For the rest of the game, modify superior Spider-Man's attack and damage values. And damage dealt by him can't be reduced below 2. So this says, hey, you have impervious, forget you, homie. So overall, it's a really good gamble if you get to it. But if you're at that stage, then yeah, it can be interesting. Now, the only question is if he loses that power, can you still do it? But because it doesn't say if you lose this power, the effect still is in play, which makes it very tricky because he only has 2 clicks of that power. But mainly you want to really look at those Spider Bots because those Spider Bots are pretty awesome. And I'll let you look at the Spider Bots by yourself because they give a lot of things to Superior Spider-Man. So. All right. Now, I know everyone's going to be trying to track down a superior Spider-Man. And I hate to say it, this is probably one that's fun to play and really good, but you're better off waiting maybe a month or 2 and see if prices go down, or even wait a set or 2 and see if prices go down. I can't guarantee it, depending if someone plays them at a rock or something and does something broken with them. I know. But it's still good practice. I would go and get T-Ray. Like, no joke. T-Ray and Speed Demon would be my super rares. Just giving you some friendly advice from your friendly neighborhood podcaster. All right, now we're going into the chases. And I like to say thank you, WizKids, for making all the chases unique. Thank you. Hopefully you have learned some lessons from your previous chases. Really, I wish that the chase status was unique, but unfortunately that is not the case. Whew. So what we'll do is we'll do a one-time just analysis of the trait, the zombie hunger, zombie infection. Pretty much the hunger is you place a food token. If you deal damage to an opposing character, you put a food token on the card. If there's less than 5 food tokens. So you only get 5 food tokens, okay? If you're KO'd, if you don't get KO'd, you instead come back and you heal yourself of your mini food tokens, which is 5. Which for pretty much all these zombies puts them at the top click. Now, this is a big deal, and here's why this is a big deal. A, your opponent won't get points. B, your opponent has wasted how many actions trying to kill that figure? all for you to just pretty much say, ha ha ha, forget you. Now, the other thing that is interesting is Pulse Wave completely shuts this down. I just realized that, which is sad because I've been looking at this for 2 days now. But Pulse Wave completely shuts down the zombie hunger. So, that's something else. Alright, next up is zombie infection. When Kingpin damages an opposing character, or just whenever these figures damage an opposing character, give that character a virus token. If it has less than 5 virus tokens, when an opposing character is KO'd by this character, you may add it to your force, turn it to its first KO click, remove all its virus tokens, and heal it that many clicks. Now, the question is, does Pulse Wave stop this? I am hoping yes. If not, then yeah, prepare for silliness, because this is your opponent gradually taking over your team. And if they, and with the zombies, there's a really good incentive for playing hyper aggression. So that's just ridiculous. So anyway, going on, Kingpin has stealth, no range, mastermind, special power, leader of the undead army. Kingpin can use leadership and outwit. When he uses leadership, he may treat any friendly character with a food token as adjacent and lower and a lower point value. Okay, which is pretty cool. When he uses outwit, he may count range and draw a line of fire from any friendly character with a food token, which is pretty cool. Also, he has clone Dear Vanessa for food. At the beginning of the game, place a Vanessa token on this card. As long as that token is on the card, give Kingpin a power action. And to place a food token on this card, or the card of a single adjacent friendly character with the Z virus, a keyword, unless that card has 5 food tokens. When Kingpin would be KO'd and before activating zombie infection, remove a Vanessa token to place up to 3 food tokens on his card until this card has no more than 5 food tokens. So anyway, you have an incentive or insurance to guarantee that he's going to get his food tokens, and that he's going to be ridiculously hard to kill. Oh gosh, I freaking hate that. Next up is Rhino, and he has rotting rhino meat. Rhino can use poison. When he does, the damage dealt is penetrating. At 140 points, that's a bit high. Yeah, at 140, that's a bit high for 11 attack, 4 damage. He also has like Monster, Sinister Syndicate, and Z Virus keywords. He has Battle Fury, so he is not Mole Man's friend, which sucks. Then you have the defensive power, shore up what's left of my skin. Rhino can use Impervious if he has no action tokens and vulnerability. He can use Impervious if he has no action tokens, and Vulnerability if he has 1 action token, and Toughness if he has 2 action tokens. Never mind, I read that wrong. So that's not bad. And I'm not going to go into what they do for the team base, because in all honesty, only the richest of the richest of the rich mans is going to actually be able to play that team base. And just upfront and honest with you, I mean, unless they make it so that they're going to make a bunch of generic zombies in the Galactic Guardian set. Just saying. Next up is Green Goblin at 105 and Energy Explosion. Now, that's ridiculous. And the same reason with Electro why he's ridiculous. You don't give Energy Explosion with this freaking zombie infection trait or in zombie hunger. It's just dumb. Because you pretty much guarantee that your opponent, that the opponent will almost not be able to kill him. And I know it's a lot more abusive with Electro, but good gravy. Come on, WizKids. Like you did not think this through. Anyway, he's starting off with a defensive power. A Goblin Glider. Green Goblin can use energy shield, deflection, and toughness. Then he has later on, after his running shot and energy explosion, he gets throw you from the glider. When Green Goblin uses carry ability, he can carry an opposing character as if they were friendly. If he does, after actions resolve, Green Goblin may make a close combat attack targeting that character as a free action. Now, here's why this is this is so abusive, because let's say you're the opponent and you hit Green Goblin really hard and you do a melee attack and do it. Okay, all right, great. And let's say you do enough damage to knock him to steal energy in this power. So you can just be like, yeah, I throw you from my glider, homie. I'm going to perplex up, my defense or my attack, either or. Pick you up, take you over, or perplex up my movement and pick you up, take you over to my team over here. And I'm going to hit you, steal energy, plus get a food token. You are now going to get a zombie infection token. Okay. Then they are going to kill you. And then you're going to come back and be on my team. And I forgot to tell you. I have a medic, so I'm just going to heal you. So that character I just killed is now on my force. I have the points for it, and I just healed it up. Thank you very much. Have a good day. So for all of you that hated Nightcrawler, he has returned in the form of Green Goblin. Okay. Next up is Electro. And Electro is way more abusive than Green Goblin. Just way more abusive. Because he has Psychic Blast and 3 targets. And he just comes out the woodwork. And it's like, oh, I can see you. I can see you. I can see you. Yeah, I'm going to just shoot you 3. Now I have 3 food tokens. Have a good day. Him with a hammer is stupid, because then he gets damage reduction. That's scary. He should never have damage reduction. Null's hammer, then he has willpower. That should never happen. Okay. Yeah, and he also has Lightning Rod of the Damned. Electro can use energy explosion. When he does not need line of fire to one target within range if that character has a virus token. So yeah, I have penetrating, Psychic Blast, energy explosion. Enjoy. And oh yeah, I if you have a virus token, I don't need line of fire. So I will take head pull with some other character. I will TK him into the guy in stealth, attack, give him a Z-Virus token, and then use Electro to blast you really, really, really hard because I care. And oh yeah, I get Z-Virus tokens on more infection tokens on you. So now you have 2 infection tokens on that character I just hit. Plus, I get food tokens. So, yeah, that pretty much just means that by me just using my team and hitting you, you are at a grave disadvantage. Ciao. So, yeah, Electro is way too OP. Next up is Dr. Octopus at 135. And I think he's going to be awesome for scientist teams, for what he offers a scientist team. I'm just being honest. The idea of just starting to take over your opponent's team, I think that would be ridiculously awesome. I wish they did Mr. Fantastic, because Mr. Fantastic would have been more appropriate. Anyway, I read the part where Mr. Fantastic from that universe went into the Ultimates universe, and I really like that. Dr. Octopus, and he starts off with running shot, invulnerability, and outwit, which is nice, but it's like, yeah, it's all right. Then he gets robotic arms don't decay, they just fall off. Dr. Octopus can use perplex, but only to modify two distinct combat values of his by +2 each. What that means is that you can modify his. You can. It's like, come on, WizKids. Did you think about this? Like really? Did you think about this? Because you just said, hey, he has a 12 attack, 3 damage, 8 range, or 12 attack, 5 damage, or 8-19 defense, 8 range, or like 8 movement for running shot. Like WizKids, did you really think about this? Or were you just like, man, we're going to count that money so hard? You know, I guess. Next up is Superior Undead Intellect. Dr. Octopus can use Outwit. He can use it to target characters with the virus token anywhere on the map. You can start to see why I think he's going to be really strong. Next up is Venom. Venom has starts off with a special movement power. Don't run away. Tasty. Venom can use charge and plasticity, which is nice because he has blades. Each time a character fails to break away from Venom, give that character a virus token. So really, you really want to have like Venom and Electro, and then Deadpool, and you have like a beginning of something annoying. And then if you can fit them, freaking Arinm Zola, maybe a normal Venom or something. I don't know. I'm getting tired. Anyway, Venom can use Blaze Claws, Fangs, Still Energy. Oh no, that's what he gives. No, Ravage's Hunger. Yeah, Venom can use Blaze Claws, Fangs, and Still Energy. That's his attack power. Which, again, add in hammers, and you add damage reduction to the super senses. And, hey, guess what, guys? I'm going to be really, really hard to kill. If killable at all. Sabretooth is okay. It's like, if you pull him, great. If not, alright. He's good for Marauder's keyword. If you're going to play him with Sinister and laugh. That's all I want to say. He has the special movement power. The good meets deeper. Sabretooth can use charge and exploit weakness. With all the battle fury, he's not good with Mole Man. And this is like a more expensive version of the Sabretooth that we got in GSX. So that's just my opinion on it. Then you have Juggernaut at 195. He has okay stats, but I feel like he has that Hulk syndrome where he peaks at click 5 and 6. Really, clicks 4, 5, and 6 are like his best clicks. His damage value starting off is good, but I think that you're better off just going ahead and just like, hey, drop a hammer on him. I know this is bad. I'm saying like, yeah, just drop a hammer on him. That fixes everything, but it sort of does. Anyway, he gets his first special power at the top with just bones in an unbreakable shell, which it doesn't make sense. How could they make him a zombie? Anyway, Juggernaut can use Invincible. When Juggernaut is targeted by Outwit, roll a d6 on a result of 3 through 6. Ignore the use of Outwit, which is pretty good. Then he has Eating with both hands. Juggernaut can use Charge and Flurry, but he has Charge and Flurry, and he has Still Energy, which is really nice. So the thing with Juggernaut is he's really, really hard to take down, and he is most likely to get his tokens up. The problem is that once he gets his 5 food tokens up, 1, 2, 3, 4, he's not going to ever get back to top dial. Unlike all the other characters, they're going to get back to top dial. Maybe except, yeah, Sabretooth. Yes, I think Sabretooth is the only other one. So he's in good company. So I'm not going to look at the gravity feed, pretty much because I've commented so much about particular gentleman called what is it? I was going to say Snake Root Ninja Clan, Adamantium Specialist. Yeah, him. I like him. He's great. All right. My thoughts. And I'm going to say this as best as I can. I'm concerned about the future of the game as a player. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh crap, I forgot. There is the gravity feed the fast forces that are out. They spoiled that. You know what? I think I will pass on that. Yeah, I think I'll pass on looking at that. Cause yeah, that's yeah, I'll pass. Anyway, going into my thoughts. My thoughts is I'm concerned about the future of the game. I'm concerned about shenanigans. Which is sad because I'm a guy that's pro shenanigans. I'm pro shenanigans of ha ha ha, you can't do that, ha ha ha, look, I can avoid that, ha ha ha, I can dance around that. Oh, the moon is in the proper position and now I can do this. I like those shenanigans. I like the ha ha, you can't attack me, you can't draw a line of fire to me. I like those shenanigans. I don't like, hey, I show up and I just take stuff from your team. I don't like that. I don't like shenanigans that are like, oh, hey, guess what? You don't get to use that even though you paid for it. I just automatically get to take it because I sat down and played today. I don't like that. I don't like shenanigans that you create it so you make figures that literally cannot die in most standard games if played by a person with any sort of meta skill. Okay? I'm really concerned about that. Like literally Electro. Electro should not exist because you have to one-shot Electro. You have to do 6 damage to Electro before he gets any damage off on you. And while that's possible, doing that against Juggernaut is just impossible. I mean, outside of like Galactus or something in multi-attack. It's just not doable. And I apologize for my yawns if you can hear them. I've been up since 8 this morning and it's like 12:28. I have some tech that I was working on and I was like, yes, this is going to put a positive direction in the meta. And this is going to allow certain different types of, teams and ideas to sort of move forward. And I was going to put that in a couple of shows or on the blog. And Copycat just craps all over that. Copycat makes any sub 100 point character completely liable. And when you're looking at the 1-2 punch between Highfather and Copycat, WizKid it just says it doesn't matter what you're playing, you have the potential of being nerfed. And that's not fun. Having a character that if they're doing the basic job of attacking, that you can't KO them, that's not fun. Okay? When you have characters that allow for literally hyper fast activation and ridiculous amounts of plus to map rolls just due to their cheapness, that's not fun. there's a lot of balance here that is really lacking. There's a lot of, I feel, play testing that's really lacking. There, even with Arinm Zola, okay, I joked around about, ha, two Spider-Mans, blah, 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 blah. I'm betting you that someone can figure out two characters to put on a team that will fit with a resource that will completely just annihilate something, for the pure fact that you can just use Arinm Zola to mind control them to do a free action to move out or do whatever else, and then or attack, and then they can just go do it again. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I know some people say, well, what about Agent 13 and what about White Witch? And then I know, hey, cool. I understand. Banshee is another issue, but if Tellus gets fixed, then he won't be as big of an issue, I feel. X-23, ridiculously hard to kill. Wolverine and X-23. And what happens when you virus token them and you finally do kill them? Just think about that. Like, oh, okay, virus token now. Now my opponent has an army of unkillable characters. So my thoughts would be, if we had an influx of characters like Guardians of the Galaxy, where we have a lot of like high damage or even Superman set, and just the influx of that, it would solve for some parts of the meta, but then Highfather kicks back in, and then Copycat kicks back in. So, yeah. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Tale of Two Cities. That's how I feel. All right. Thanks for listening. I know it's been a long episode. I know it's been a long episode for me. 2 hours straight recording on top of other recording. So I do it all for you all. Hit me up on the Twitter. It came from outer space and told me that somewhere it's morning and somewhere it's night, but no matter what, you need to go to bed. You can follow my shenanigans or any other things that I type up there. Also, I give away random stuff like I did a couple days ago. You can subscribe. It would be much appreciated. And you can email me at starringoverpodcast@gmail.com. That's starringoverpodcast@gmail.com. Tell me what your thoughts are about Deadpool and what's broken and what's not, and what needs to be a little bit more better and what needs to get nerfed. Last but not least, you can check out the blog, starringoverpodcast.blogspot.com. I am going to pretty much put down my list of the figures that I think that are good for the set and that you need to pick up. So definitely check that out. So yeah, if this is your first one that you're listening to, go listen to part 1. If you listen to part 1, thank you for staying with me through part 1 and part 2. So that's it. Thanks for listening, and remember, we all have to start over sometime.